It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Black Real Estate Dialogue podcast. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a rating and review. It really helps us move up in the rankings and also to reach more people. Also, if you're interested in joining the B.R.E.D Real Estate Investing community, you can get started for just $1. If you're interested, the link is in the show notes, or you can go to blackrealestatedialogue.com. So here on this episode today with me, I have an esteemed guest. I have Gabby Williams here with me. She was our first B.R.E.D resident. She reached out to me with the idea last year in the beginning of the pandemic, just to share her journey in investing. So we did several episodes with her. She talked about rehabbing her first property, buying her second property, everything in between. And she now has a bustling business that is just doing amazing things in the St. Louis market and making real estate possible for people all over the country. And so if you're interested, definitely look at her, check out her episodes. They'll be linked here in the show notes as well. But Gabby, thank you so much for coming back on the show. Let the people know who you are.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I am Gabby, known as Real Estate Bae, B.A.E. My Instagram handle is realestate_GABZ. I've been real estate investing for, I don't know, maybe less than a year. I can't even believe it. I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Missouri, an investor coach, and the CEO of Real Estate Bae, St. Louis-based investing boutique. So like Sam said, I was the first resident. I knew that we had a bunch of podcasts that always hosted people that had 50 doors and 70 doors. And so for me, it's about how do I get the formula to that first one? And so I wanted to be really transparent with showing that journey. And I'm so grateful that I did. And here we are today with, we'll get into what we got today, what we got going on.
Definitely.
For having me.
Absolutely. So for those who have not heard Gabby's previous episodes, definitely go listen to orient yourselves. But today, the focus is going to be primarily Real Estate Bae. So can you talk to us about what Real Estate Bae is, what your company does?
Yep. So Real Estate Bae, like I said, is an investing boutique. And so we really consider ourselves a full service concierge, really specializing in two different exit strategies with real estate. The first one is buy and hold. So you can come to us. We're going to find you an investment property here in St. Louis, rehab it for you, place your tenant for you, occupancy permits, write your lease, get copies of your keys, send you the copy of the key. We place it. I mean, we do everything for you from appliances all the way to tenant placement. And so we have a lot of clients all over the United States that are in expensive markets. And so they seek us out to start or grow their investment portfolio with inexpensive doors here in St. Louis. We also kind of blew up. I got kind of big on our strategies on flipping. And so here at Real Estate Bae, you can take those same inexpensive properties, $5, $7, $10, $20, $30,000 properties, put maybe $30,000, $40,000 in them and put them right back on the market for $150,000 in less than 6 to 9 weeks. And so when people were able to see, like, I can make 70 grand in 7 weeks, and I'm like, yes, you can. We started blowing up like crazy. So we really specialize in that flip market because of how inexpensive it is. And we have some really, really dope streamlined processes, as well as my buy and hold people that are really, really wanting to secure the bag long term.
Absolutely. So can you talk to us about the journey a little bit? Just, you started investing about a year or so ago. So how do you go from beginner investor to having a company helping other investors from all over the country? Talk to us about that development, because that's incredible. So we'd love to hear the story.
Thank you. Man, that's a long story. So stop me if I get long-winded. But ultimately, it's really B.R.E.D, right? So like being on the B.R.E.D podcast and really trying to market myself to people that were like, I know I can do this, but I'm missing a few things. And people started hitting me up left and right. I got really good and specific around what I wanted my socials to look like and feel like. And so marrying the marketing with social media allowed people to start asking me, can you do this for me? So at first, Sam, I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, I didn't even know how to process that because I don't know anybody. Now I know people that are doing what I do. But at the time, I didn't know anybody that was an investing boutique, finding the property all the way to tenant placement. I don't know what that means. And so people kept asking, I'll pay you, I'll pay you. And I really sat down one day and wrote out, I know how to do this. What would it take me to emulate this for somebody else, right? And so I remember getting the vision for Real Estate Bae, like, all I got to do is do this, 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 and everybody eats and everybody gets a bag. And when I first got the vision really deep down inside of me, I couldn't sleep. I was like, this is a multi-million-dollar business because of the market. You probably can't do this in California. You probably can't do this in Atlanta or New York. You just can't. But here in the Midwest, I just saw how I could position myself, and nobody, not a soul in St. Louis is doing this. And so I love that for the niche that we are. And then once I got it deep down in my spirit, I get really thirsty. And so I started like almost asking people and almost doing it for free. Like, we took a lot of L's in the first couple of months, a lot of L's. We should have made tens of thousands of dollars. And I was doing 99% of the work for free because I wanted to test out the concept, right? After a few clients.
Can you talk more about the L? Can you talk more about the L's? Just because, like,
where do I start?
Social media, everything, it's a highlight reel, right? And there's a lot of highlights.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to talk about some of the lessons that, because obviously they helped you get to where the company is now.
Yep. Man, I think that the biggest L is really asking people to be your client. Like, so for me, people would inquire about what I could do, and then I would be following up with them as if they're the prize, and I'm really the prize, right? And so I was almost trying to oversell my genius, and what it caused the dynamic of hiring somebody service-based, it caused them to really be the boss versus a partnership. And so we took a lot of L's. I mean, clients yelling at I'm talking about no money has even been exchanged. Why are you mad? Like, just because they had this entitlement, because I didn't position myself as a CEO and as a boss, because I was like, let me just find a client so I can test this concept on once I got it like down good. And so that's the first thing, is not really truly believing in what it could be and doing things for free. And it switches the dynamic of who you say you are. You say you're a genius, but you're free, so I can talk to you crazy. Those are L's, like not necessarily monetarily, but emotionally. The other L is starting the business and not having like contracts in place, right? So people get amnesia. We've been under contract for 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. I pay you what? No, I didn't say that. Nothing in place. That was me, right? I'm like, no, we said, and so now we have a lawyer. We record every Zoom. Like, we take thorough notes. We sign off on a lot of contracts to join Real Estate Bae. We over contract you because we took so many L's. Now those were monetarily. And going back on my word, when I say the price is $3,000 and a client, I feel like that's too much. And now I'm saying 2,000. Like, I did that several times and it cost us. And so, I think that that's just the early stages of really being insecure about premium pricing too, Sam, like thousands of dollars. I feel insecure about that, in the early months, and it cost us, but the lessons have been plentiful. So I'm grateful.
Definitely. How would you say you got over the premium price discomfort?
I still struggle with it today. I definitely still struggle with it. To join Real Estate Bae is 5 figures. I will not move from that. And I'm really rooted in the idea that I have to pay people now. I have a lawyer, an accountant, an office manager, a president, a field manager. Like, I got to pay my lawyer. Like, you got to pay me to pay her, right? So I'm really rooted in the idea that this is bigger than this one transaction. It's really about the life of the business. And we talk to clients like, you don't want me burnt out and you don't want us bankrupt. So pay your invoices on time. Like, we talk to them just like that. Don't you want to do another project with me? Yeah, Gabby, but pay your invoice so I can pay my, get some food for my son, right? So we keep it a bean like that too. But the other thing too is I don't invoice any clients. anymore. So the office manager does. So I may be cool with Sam, like, man, Sam, the homie, I got to hit you with this $4,000 invoice though. I don't have to feel that anymore because Janae is like, did you pay your invoice? She don't know you. So it takes me out of the equation. So that has helped a lot as well, getting over that premium pricing, putting people in place that will hold up, the legs of the business.
Definitely. So talk to us about just those early, you talked about the early lessons. So when was like the turning point of the business? Because, I remember when you started and things were developing, things were going well. And then it's almost like you hit this snowball and things started to take off. So can you talk to us more about that?
Yeah. I would probably have to say, I want to say her name is Terica Lynn Smith. And she was on the Black Wealth Renaissance podcast. And I cannot make this up. Exactly what I was doing, she was doing. She was a realtor. She was fixing up. She was eating when they sold the property here, but then she would put on a different hat and she was GCing the property. She was designing them. And she said on the podcast, I didn't know that I was making my partners hundreds of thousands of dollars. I would pass the check like, wait a minute. And so she said, I walked the very last time I passed $100,000 check over to my partner, I made a few grand as a realtor. And I told myself, I'm never doing this again. All of my other partnerships will go to 50-50. And the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, why am I doing so? Before, Sam, you're asking, how do we get so big, or what did the snowball happen? Testimony is like, her testimony blew my mind. I called John. I said, we have been giving people $50,000 bags, $70,000 bags, $60,000 bags. And we were taking, I cannot make this up, a few hundred. I called John right now, a few $100s, right? And maybe a few thousand if we got really lucky. We were making pennies. And I said, John, there it is right there. We were trying to figure out how to make a lot of money in the business and how to make it fair. And so we now do splits 70-30. So we're working on a flip right now. The profit is going to be $100,000. My company will take $30,000. All of this is known before you even sign your paperwork. And so being able to peek in on other people's lives, like Terica Lynn Smith's, and other people like Charm City Buyers and Rika State that are really killing it, I'm like, something I'm missing. And when you find out what you're missing, you got to implement it immediately. So the 70-30 split is the new way for Real Estate Bae. You are not eating and we're taking pennies. We really want to grow this into a multi-million-dollar business. And so we started doing JV partnerships. That was probably the biggest decision we've ever made.
Absolutely. And I know in the beginning, it was primarily you doing the work. I know eventually you partner with John, who's of course a podcast alum. And now you have a few other people on your team. So can you talk to us about that? What made you shift from just, I guess, being a solopreneur to saying, you know what, I need help. I need to build out this team if I really want to scale this company.
Yeah, so I think that's just truly who I am as a leader and as a woman, as a person. One of my best friends will tell you that in high school I was organizing walkouts. Like, I've always been about like organizing people, getting people on the same page and inspired. Always have been in leadership roles, ran several stores in St. Louis with hundreds of employees. And so I'm very used to a team dynamic, right? I know I'm not good at this, but I can find somebody who is. And so it really was about like getting really clear on the vision. And John just said it today. John has left his job now to work for us full time. And this is a man with 3 kids. So he said, Gabby, if you didn't have the vision, I would have never come to work for you or work with you. So it's being clear about the vision, but then just naturally who I am. I know delegation takes you 10 times further than trying to keep all the coins to yourself and doing it alone. Yeah, you gotta expand out. You gotta hire people, get out of their way. That's really how you get in your bag, for real.
Definitely. So how are things going with the properties that you purchased last year? I know one of them you have a tenant in there, and the other one, the last time we connected on the podcast, you were figuring out like kind of what the move was there. But how are things going with those properties?
Yeah. So the property, my own portfolio, right?
Yes.
So They're still doing fine. The one has a tenant in it. The other one, we did a bunch of stuff with me and my husband, and we 100% have stopped that rehab. Not monetarily necessarily, it was personal reasons. And so that rehab is literally stopped. It's no reason of our own that um, we couldn't physically or financially do it. It was about really capacity.
Yeah.
Imagine running 6 rehabs from the time you wait for 12 hours a day, and then you have another. So I said, ultimately for the business, me and John even talked about, Gabby, we're working on everybody else's portfolio, and John hasn't even bought another door. That's how busy we are. And we like, this is what we do. And so this is why we had to go to the 70-30. We're looking at doors for Real Estate Bae too. But how we get in front of that is we hire more people so we have more time to go do other things. So we literally had to stop that rehab and pivot because the business literally took off. So it was a choice, a conscious decision to make.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that choice will
But
pay
yes,
off.
yeah.
Can you talk about the St. Louis market? A lot of people may not know how much opportunity is in that market. And so I would love for you to kind of flex a little bit, talk about the city and why it's a great place to invest that most people probably aren't thinking about.
Yeah. St. Louis is it's undervalued. And that's, if you, that's the biggest word you can get from this podcast. St. Louis is undervalued severely. So in the climate where everybody is paying premium, we are not, even still, right? In the climate where people can't find investment properties, we have plenty, right? And it's because of the vacancy rate here in St. Louis. It's because of redlining. It's because of just a plethora of reasons. And so, for example, we felt the increase in the asking price from the seller. Don't get me wrong. Properties I could have got for $10,000, I'm now paying $22,000 for. But because they were so drastically undervalued, they're still undervalued, right? I can't think of a single door that was private owned that we have paid asking price for. We just got a property, they wanted 49, we paid 41. Another one, they wanted 70, we paid 60. I can't think of one. We've always come in under asking price, and we've always gotten it. When you have the right realtor, you should be saving money throughout the whole transaction anyway. So marry me, the right realtor, with a market that is undervalued, and you not only are you going to be paying saving money, you're also going to be still paying undervalued. Hundreds, I would say tens of thousands of vacant properties here in St. Louis. Yeah, the market is still hot. We still find gold in this market, even in midst of the coronavirus.
Definitely. Do you find that most of your clients lean towards flipping or buying hold, or is it kind of a mix?
Yeah. So in the first, we try to take clients by quarters. And so in quarter one, everybody wanted to buy and hold. Not sure why. And in quarter two, I think we had some successes, and people were like, wait a minute, they did what? So 99.9% of our clients are flippers. So many that John's like, okay, we got to put a cap on flippers, because this is getting, because flipping, Sam, is a full-time job. I mean, it will eat you alive. And so I would say we probably have over 100 contractors. It is so much work to flip, because I can take the same home, get it safe and livable, and put a tenant in it and work on the things, over time. When you flip, you're going premium, top of the market, and we don't miss a crack in the surface. We have to fix everything, and it is extremely expensive, and it's a full-time job. But everybody sees the bag at the end, because it's always going to be a bag at the end. We don't flip homes that we can't at least make $30,000 from. The most time that we'll spend in a door is 9 weeks. So it's pretty quick. And when I tell that story, people want to get on that train a little bit more.
Definitely. So let's say I'm a client, I sign on Real Estate Bae, I want to flip. What is that process going to be like for me?
The flipping process?
Yeah, like the flipping process, like the interactions throughout, like what does that look like for a client?
Sure. So when you first join, we do an interview process now. Another learning, we don't want to take any more L's. We do an interview process now. We do 2 screenings. So you screen with me, then you screen with John. Then you get like a welcome email, and you literally have 24 hours sometimes if I'm nice, 72 hours to pay your invoice to welcome you on. Then you have an orientation where we sit on screen and we go back over your goals. I have to know your 5-year goal, your 1-year goal, your 10-year goal, because I got to get each transaction right, because I don't see right now, I see years out. And so we consider that upon each purchase. And so we do goal setting during orientation. We go back over your income. People say they got money. I'd be like, baby, you said you had, we ask for proof of funds, contract signing. And then as soon as all of that orientation is done and you're kind of oriented to the business and the processes and who's who in the company, that same night, typically the next day, you're going to start receiving properties directly to your inbox. We do a lot of on-market properties because, again, we have so many that we can choose from, but we also, I'd say about 10% of acquisition is off-market deals that we find on Facebook and so forth. You're going to start receiving properties to your inbox every morning at 8 a.m. I have an expectation that every client is sending me properties to go for the field team to go view. You should be sending me 3 to 5 properties a week. And then we get that over to the field team. They do an analysis of the street, the community, the block, the systems of the door. I bring that data back to you. We decide right then and there, are we going to buy or are we going to let it fly? I get on the phone. If you say, let's buy it, I get on the phone and I negotiate the price for you. We go into contract for 14 days. During those 14 days, the data that the field team collected, it has to match what we told you the rehab is going to be. Then we present that to the client. Acquisition is 20, rehab is 20, flip is 90. Can we afford this? We say yes. We close and we start on your rehab 10 days after we get the keys.
There you have it, folks. I think that's a very tight process. Did it take some time to, did it take some trial and error to identify like what is the most efficient process?
Oh man, yes. A lot of trial, a lot of error, a lot. And we're still perfecting it. Yeah. If you join Real Estate Bae, I'm gonna be like, next month, I'm not sure how this is. I'm gonna talk to my lawyer. I'm not sure. We're still perfecting it because my husband said the other night, like, you're booming and busting. I'm like, I'm not booming and busting. I'm like, I eat what I kill. Like if I don't buy a house this month, we don't eat. That's what it is. They don't magically appear. So our goal is to buy 4 houses a month. That's a part of the process. So 1 every single week. This month we fell a little short. We bought 3, but it's the processes are forever changing because with every client that comes on, they teach us something, good or bad. I'd be like, oh, I cannot work with this person. So why can't we work with this person? Why do I want to die right now? Because of this, and this. Let's change this. Let's get this done with the lawyer. Let's consider this with the accountant. And so for example, when we talk about processes, and I'm talking about they're forever changing, one of the things that we're about to implement, Sam, in our rehabs, we tell you 100 times, no rehab will go to plan. I can tell you this rehab is going to be $35,865. I'll tell you to the cent. And I can get really close because I get really good on every one. I get better. Mm-hmm. And 6 weeks into the rehab, they got behind the walls and the outlet was messed up, or a whole wall was, now we need $700 more, right? And so one of the processes, because clients can't, when you don't do this full time, you really don't understand how that outlet and that wall costs $700. I can see it costs $7,000, honestly. But to my point that I'm trying to make, we now are thinking about, if your rehab is $35,000, you have to send in an additional 10% for your rehab. Yeah. And then if we go over, we already have the cushion. So that means you're not getting change orders for 7 weeks straight. And you're like, I did 7 change orders. They were $50, $100. It doesn't matter. It feels draining to the client. Right. And so that's one thing that we've been talking about. We're forever changing and looking into how to perfect processes for sure.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Are you looking for a community of like-minded individuals and access to experts in real estate? Yeah. Are you interested in real estate but need more support and guidance? You know who it is. The Black Real Estate Dialogue presents the Real Estate Investing Community. No matter how much or how little real estate experience you have, we've created a community for you because your perspective is important. All right, tell me, where's the #1 place where you can do Q&A with experienced guest speakers 2 times per month, How about unlimited access to past guest speakers' recordings? What about a private Slack channel to engage in daily discussion with everybody in the community to share resources and support each other? Head on over to blackrealestatedialogue.com. That's blackrealestatedialogue.com. It's the real estate investing community presented by the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Come join us today.
What would make someone not a good fit for Real Estate Bae? A client.
Oh, Jesus, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm not even being facetious. I'm like, it's a lot. I'm a particular type of person. Some people really like me. I'm going to talk like this. We're going to curse. We're going to cry. Right. And so we're going to pray, you got to really understand my personality. You can't, it's no talking to John to get me. No, you talk to me. And so we've dealt with that before. People trying to talk to John and pit him against me. Never going to happen. Our loyalty, the team loyalty is strong. So I think that the biggest thing that we run into, I cannot make this up, 95% of our clients struggle with trust. And 100% of our clients are Black, right? And so we associate that with some psychological things. But when you can't trust what I am telling you, I'm not talking about you literally can't. I'm talking about you're calling other contractors to your rehab to go check. What are you doing? Like when you can't trust, you will, unfortunately, I don't want to sound harsh, but I want to sound serious. You will be offboarded. We will mail you back your keys and you will figure out the rest of this rehab. Because what I won't do, and I made a commitment to myself over the last couple of hard clients we've had, I'm not going to wake up every day hating what I do. I could just go back to work and I could probably make more, right? And so that trust factor, I cannot teach it. I cannot coach to it. You really have to trust me when I say this costs this, or it's going to take this amount of time, or this person said no. And trust that I have your best interests in mind. And sometimes that's going to be an internal battle. There's no receipt I can show you. Do you just trust people? And we find that people that say, I don't even trust my mom, you won't trust me. Trust is, we've been dealing with that and toiling with that in the Bay Hive for sure.
Definitely, for sure. So where do you see the company going in the future? I know you mentioned it's heading towards being $1 million company, but are there any additions to the services or is there anything else coming down the pipeline for Real Estate Bae?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been thinking about, and I guess I'll announce it here, is I'm doing my very last course ever. It's going to be next Wednesday, and I have a strong feeling and pit in my stomach to not do any more courses. No, it's no disrespect to the course creators because I was one for over almost a year. But I feel a calling to do more of accelerators, do more of boot camps, and really spend time in the space of investing because I do the full gamut. I don't just find out. I literally know what your plumbing should look like. And so I feel like when you take my course, you get to a stop sign and then you don't know where to go. And so I feel, let's use the word, a little guilty that I'm telling you this is a tell-all, but it's not going to get you to where I need you to get to. So we're going to be implementing an accelerator. When I launch that, my entire library will be free. I will not charge for courses anymore. Whatever I do, all my old courses will be 100% free. I feel a calling and I need to be obedient to God because he got me this far. And I just want to give all of that away. It's super, super valuable. The actual things I do still to this day are in those courses. They're gold. But the accelerator is going to be coming next. And that's going to be really, really where I, as the CEO, want to spend a lot of time is grooming people across the country to implement these practices in their own, cheap and affordable markets.
Well, you heard it here first.
Yep.
That's pretty amazing. Like I'm just thinking about, I remember like when we did our first couple of interviews, you were green, you were literally in it, like property purchase. And we were just talking about, every month, just talking about just the progression of things. And fast forward 12 months later, here we are, you are helping other people, you got into the courses and then you started Real Estate Bae, which has grown, and more growth to come with the accelerator. So I just think it's just mind blowing to think back and just see how far things have come. So I highly encourage people to check out the previous episodes so you understand what I'm saying and the seriousness of it. Life can change overnight. Life can change so fast. You can just follow what you feel in one direction, and it could change your whole life, and it could change the life of other people. You're changing lives, your company's changing lives all over the country, and just providing access to affordable properties that people can rent out or flip and change their life, work towards helping their family or work towards leaving their job. So I think it's just amazing what you're doing, and it's just been a joy to watch things grow.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You always are so encouraging. And like I tell people, I didn't know the impact of B.R.E.D. I knew mentally, but one of the flips that we're doing right now, he lives in California and he flew down, we went to dinner and he's like, "Oh, I found you from B.R.E.D." I was like, "What?"
Wow.
And then another client, we just bought a $155,000 duplex for her. It was 100% rehabbed and finished, beautiful on market. She's like, "I found you from B.R.E.D." She lived in Oregon. I'm like, wow, so the impact of, our relationship and our business partnership has 100% changed and grown my company. I mean, the amount of clients that tell me I found you from B.R.E.D is a cab. We're working on their rehab right now. We just hired one of her last contractors to go in. They found me from B.R.E.D. And so you definitely have a special place in my heart. If you want to rehab,
Appreciate
yours is free.
No, I can't do that. You got to eat.
I got you though. I got you with the family discount. But yeah, so yep, I appreciate it.
Definitely. Amazing. I'm sure it's not the last time you're on the show. I'm sure the next time you're on the show, you'll be at $1 million.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So is there anything you want to leave with the listeners who will hear this episode, who are interested in either Real Estate Bae, or maybe they're an investor who they just feel like, I don't know what to do. I don't have all the resources. I don't have all the money. Maybe their story is similar to yours when you started. You're just very green, very fresh, and just kind of figured things out. What are some words you would give to people in that situation?
Yeah, if you're like super green and you feel a hunger to get started, man, I don't know we hear this all the time, but I wish that you would listen to me and do as I say for the next 90 days. It will change your life. And the directions that I will give you is for 90 days straight, every single day. You cannot miss a day. You need to wake up and consume, study, meet people, go see houses, podcasts. You need to consume real estate every single day. If this is where you're supposed to be, you will watch those 90 days turn into forever. I put myself on a disciplined track. I said 1 hour a day for 90 days, and it literally changed my life. You don't have to start in real estate with your first property. I see so many people saying, I'm waiting on the side. I'm trying to save and I'm trying. What about becoming a realtor? What about becoming a home inspector? What about becoming an appraiser? There's so many certificates and crafts you can do where you're consumed in the industry. And when you start networking and marketing and opening up your mouth, I promise you, like the saying says, when the student is ready, the teacher will come. That door is going to come when you open your mouth and you get into the right rooms. But first, you have to reteach and program your mind what is important to you. You got to sit with this thing for 90 days. Real estate is the hardest. It is a very hard, industry. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. This will spit you out of its mouth. So when you consume and you study and you be a student and you yield yourself to it, it's going to pay off. Please don't wait on the sidelines trying to save $100,000. Put your money, put your time where your mouth is, and find a craft within the industry and take off.
Love it. Definitely. Well, I appreciate you coming back on the show. Looking forward to having you on again for the next big update. But it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing more growth and putting this episode out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. And you guys can definitely hit me up on Instagram. The website, let me start with the website, is therealestatebae.com. My Instagram is realestate_GABZ. I'm always trying to post content. I'm always showing rehabs. I keep it 1,000, good, bad, ugly. Real estate is possible. And we're showing you the way right here in St. Louis.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of the Black Real Estate Dialogue podcast. As I mentioned earlier in the show, please leave us a rating and review and subscribe. It'll help us reach more people and help us to help more people as well. If you're interested in joining the B.R.E.D real estate investing community, get started for just $1 for your first week. You can either go to the show notes or go to blackrealestatedialogue.com for all the information. Look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.